Welcome to the Poetic Resurrection podcast, where we explore perceptions. How self-reflecting questions can give you a better understanding of self. I'm your host, Sonia Iris Lozada. Stay tuned. This week on Poetic Resurrection, we're going to discuss expectations. Why do we expect? What do we expect? I believe it depends on the circumstances. If I pay a vendor for a service or a product, I expect it to work. I also expect that this vendor has more knowledge than I do. For example, I expected I would do an episode last week. Well, I also expected to have internet I pay for, but that was not the case. It took me 3 days to get back online. It's good to be aware of expectations. Are they realistic? Are we expecting someone to act in a certain way? Expecting others to act accordingly to a preconceived notion that we might have can lead to discontentment. Is that a requirement you'd like others to have of you? Sometimes we know the other person well. We expect them to behave a certain way. But people change, and they should be allowed to change. There are many expectations that we have, and as I mentioned the vendor, let us discuss expectations of ourselves and others. Many expectations are connected to our perceptions of how situations and events need to work out. At that time, who's to say we're correct? Questioning our perceptions and seeing how they relate to our expectations can enlighten us on what we find important in our lives. A Psychology Today article states, first, merely expecting something to happen will not make it happen. For many of us, it is difficult to let go of an idea that expecting something to happen will make it happen. I did this with my affirmations. If I stated it long enough with conviction, I expect it would happen. I certainly would be thrilled if it did. Psychology Today says, second, human beings have a natural tendency to pin their hopes for happiness on fulfilled expectations. My experience with this is perceptions. Our perceptions are, if I move to a new home, city, country, etc., then I would be happy. It can be a new job, a new place, or a new relationship. I feel I had to ask myself, why am I wanting to do something different outside myself? Is it me? Am I running from something, someone, or myself? I'm going to go wherever that change is. So if it's a pattern's going to follow me. Psychology Today states, the problem of expectation occurs when we expect something to happen without good reason for the expectation. Expecting life to always turn out the way you want is guaranteed to lead you to disappointment, because life will not always turn out the way you want it to. And when those unfulfilled expectations involve the failure of other people to behave the way you expect them to, the disappointment also involves resentment. Let go of expectations and find something to be grateful about, even when things do not turn out the way you'd hope. And you will experience serenity rather than resentment. A quote from Michelle Obama. I have learned that as long as I hold fast to my beliefs and values, and I follow my own moral compass, then the only expectations I need to live up to are my own. The poem for this week is alliance. From my upcoming book, Inspire Me, Awakening Dreams. You can also read Alliance in my compilation book, Inspire Me Series Book 1 and 2. Alliance. Sometimes my essence aches because of the many adventures and events others have had, without a mention, and I wasn't there. Is it me? Is the perception of what they sense I am determining my behavior? Thoughts? We spoke of holiday, 2 summers long, set for 3rd. The 3rd visit around the sun and asked, when are we going? I don't know was the answer. Facing the truth, social media, as I viewed the celebratory drink in hand with other. Visiting the places of visual beauty of distant land we planned. Why not explain? Why falsehood? A sadness took over me. Was it them? Was it me? Was it my perceptions of childhood memories which stood in the way of the truth? A truth that hasn't existed in decades. A long ago feeling attached to a person whom I've surrendered my alliance. Taking responsibility for my emotions as I breathe and let go. Let go of my ideas of the past. Do I blame them? No. I'm accountable for my beliefs. Would we plan again? No. Our characters unveiled the blinders I wore since childhood, abandoning my memories and allowing myself permission to move on. Many blessings. Thank you for listening to the Poetic Resurrection podcast, available on Apple iTunes, Spotify, Amazon Music, Google Music, and many other podcast platforms. Please visit us and subscribe to our newsletter at poeticresurrection.com for the latest information and updates.